Hello everyone, this is David at Grow and Eat This. Picked through here yesterday and got the cabbages that were salvageable. The bugs had really gotten a hold of them. I don't know if it was bugs or slugs. You don't really find any bugs. But what I'm going to do, one of the projects for this morning, is collecting food for the earthworms. And it's hard to beat these big, giant cabbage leaves. Lots and lots of material for the earthworms. Now, what I do is I collect all this, then I'm going to show you how I cut it up so it's available much quicker to the worms. What doesn't go to the worms will go into the compost pile, because there's great material for that also. But I'd rather run it through the worms first, because then that gives me the worm castings, which is even more useful to me. It's food for the garden. Okay, that's probably enough of that. Now, the rest we'll put into the compost, and then we can peel all the straw off. See what we can do about getting this bed ready to plant. So we'll come back to this when we get a little further along. Wow, it's gotten so hot that I've moved inside my big pile of cabbage leaves here. I've been in the pan here, kind of wilting, which is fine. What we want to do is chop these things up some so the bacteria, the little microorganisms, will start eating them quick, turning them into delicious worm food. So I'm going to take a knife, put them on a cutting board, do some slices. And I cut them, you know, some people put them in a blender. Outstanding. I don't have an extra blender, and I don't want to use the one we use all the time, because this could easily have some bugs and stuff in it, and that's just nasty. So I just cut them with a knife in about 2-inch squares. If they were smaller, it'd work even faster. So put all those in there. Grab the next batch. You know, it was sad. The damage to these things was more slugs than caterpillars. So netting them didn't accomplish anything at all. Caterpillars were on the inside. I mean, the slugs. So next year I'll have to remember in the fall to put down some sluggo when I put the mulch down. So I knock out the slugs. These big old leaves can be kind of tough, so it's very good to cut them up. So I'm going to cut the rest of this up and then I'll show you how we feed it to the worms. Alright, I've chopped up all the cabbage. And what I've done is I've dug down in the side of this first bin and I put some of the really finished off. It needs to dry, but this is pretty much nothing but worm casting mud here. So I picked some of that out of there and worked my way down pretty close to the bottom here. Now, then what I'm going to do is put in all this food all down here in the bottom. Got to kind of divvy it up because I got 3 tubs to do, and this one's got 2 sides. Then I'm going to cover it up. So all the food for the worms then is on the bottom. Maybe they can leave me their poops on the top if they're eating down on the bottom. So we're going to have to dig into here. See, there's some more pretty much finished stuff. There's a little pocket of worms. I'll put it back. Here where we've got finished product, I'm going to take it out. I can either put it in water, make a nice soak out of it, or I can let it dry and powder it. Either way, it's worm heaven in here. So now that we've got the next side done, in goes more cabbages. What's amazing is I had done this with cauliflower leaves about 2 weeks ago, and as you can see, they're completely gone. They are totally gone. Looks like there's a few stems left in the middle, and that's about it. Other than that, they're gone. So this is good food for them. That takes care of that one. I'll cover back on, and we'll move on to the next tub. Alright, my next tub here. Wow. Look at the worms. Look at the worms in this tub. This tub is really doing well. So in go our cabbages. Cover these guys up. This one is my newest tub. And where it still has lots of loose material, you get an idea of how it's doing by the amount of worm production. It is really filling up with the worms. So I'm going to work us out a spot here. Wow, there's another huge batch of worms right there. We're going to get it all filled up with cabbages. Then cover it up. I mean, I've got a great load of stuff here to dry, which is going to make quite a bit of worm castings. So this is good stuff. This is what I'm looking for. You can do this. It's not hard. When you watch professionals on the YouTube channel, you feel like, oh man, what a loser I am. But you know what? You're not trying to raise, 6,000 worms a month to sell, and you're not trying to make 1,000 pounds of castings. And you don't have the equipment. You don't have any of that stuff. What you got is a couple of tubs, some worms, and lots of refuse from your garden. And guess what? You can have worm castings, worm tea. You can have plenty of worms to go fishing or to feed the tropical fish. This is a win-win. So this is David at Grow and Eat This. Get your worms started. Oh, and just so you know, it doesn't smell. If it starts to smell, you're doing something seriously wrong. So, thank you for watching. If you like these, please subscribe. I'm an old guy, and it's nice when people say, thank you, I like that. So, let me know about it. This is David at Grow and Eat This. Happy gardening.